Hello, everybody. Today is 11th of December, 10:29 p.m. And I'm re-recording my podcast 6 episode. So I'll need to replace it, or maybe I'll delete it and I'll upload this one because the recording was not okay. And as you know, everything is unedited, so I might go here and there. But yeah, the core conversation will revolve around Squid Game psychology. Today was a wonderful day because I celebrated my dad's birthday, and touch wood, I feel so lucky to have both my parents with me, and yeah, it's a blessing, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful for that. So, coming back to Squid Game psychology, I hope many of you would have watched this. But if you haven't, then after this review, this psychological review, because I have already posted a review on my Facebook and Instagram post. If you're not following Blink of an Eye, then should start following Blink of an Eye for very nice reviews, I must say. When I write it, it just comes direct from my soul. And then when I read it, I don't read it instantly. I don't go back and check what I have written. I don't go back and listen to my podcast episodes. I'm just like not bothered, whatever, because it is unedited, so it doesn't matter. People, I think, are moving to casual and more relatable conversation, which is like not putting pressure on you. And psychology is completely about being who you are. So, this is who I am. And I don't go back and read it, I don't go back and listen to it. But yes, thanks to my viewers. And one of my viewer, I met him and he was like, oh, listen, this episode is not working because the voice was not there. So I'm really sorry for that. So, coming back to Squid Game psychology, why I wanted to discuss that is because it is very interesting, to understand what was going inside. So, what they have shown in the series, I would say, is that pressure improves performance. And we could see the big boss or the big brother, the voice which was coming. I call him the big boss or the big brother. He was putting a lot of pressure on the contestants, and the contestants' performance definitely improved till a point. Okay, and after a point, it starts dropping. And this is nothing but a classic uh, illustration law by Yerkes Dodson, and it was identified 100 years ago. So there's nothing special in that. And what we think is, what I personally believe is, little extra pressure or excitement will make you a little more focused and motivated. But if pressure is too much, you might choke and start making mistakes you normally wouldn't do. I think this is what used to happen with me. I used to choke completely. And what exactly happened in the second game of Squid Games, second episode, or the second game of Squid Game, where each person had to carve out a shape stamped into a piece of candy. Time pressure, and depending on how much is at stake, this task could suddenly become nearly impossible, and it became nearly impossible for many of the contestants. And I think this was, in many ways, was very interesting game to watch. The intensity was very high. The big brother or the big boss who was behind all this is, I what I think is, definitely had bipolar 2. Why? Because there was lack of empathy, and there was lot of creativity, and there was lots of performance pressure. Okay, so that's my take, and I don't want, as I told yesterday, I don't want you guys to start thinking on, oh, have I got this, or somebody I know has this, or somebody does like this, so oh, I think he also or she also has this. No, 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 please don't do that, don't do that. This is very, very difficult, you can't understand this. That's why counselor and psychiatrist and everybody comes into play. Okay, we all, if you ask me, everybody is mad, we are all hopeless, so it's okay. Mm, um, I think the next point about Squid Game psychology is what I feel is anonymity was a real big reason for this show to do well. Because you know what happens when there is something anonymous? Uh, there is lots of curiosity, to unfold, to know what is there, who is there, what is happening, so the viewers stay tuned and they want to know what is happening. So that was certainly there. And in situations where we are anonymous, or we are writing, we are doing something as anonymous, we do horrible things. Yeah, and if you are a parent, or if you ever thought that somebody who is a very totally different person, and who has their set of values, but when they meet, or when they are part of a certain group, they behave completely different, then you're right. It's not that um, you have a habit of suspicion. uh, it is actually proved, and it is actually logical, that anonymity makes it easier to do horrible things. And when we are anonymous, we want to do more. We want to, oh, let's do this, see, yeah, what will happen, they'll never know who did this. That makes us very, very comfortable. Like each one of us wearing mask during COVID 1.0 and 2.0. And if you were in India, and if you were aware of those uh, not finding cylinder, not finding oxygen kind of scenario, if you have visualized it, or if you were totally updated while you were reading it, then you must have known that there were good people who were serving. They went out of the way, they were serving everybody, helping others, and there were other set of people who were anonymous and who were taking advantage of the critical scenario, or the uh, wrong circumstances. So yeah, when you are kind of anonymous, you can chat with four girls, or maybe if I'm a girl, I could be anonymous, and I can chat with four guys, and I can fool around. It makes you very, very comfortable. Yeah, so that is what we have seen in Squid Game also. They were anonymous, and being anonymous, when they were given a set of dress, like all the employees were wearing a dress, there was a uniform, everybody looked same, so a group was formed. Okay, so there was a kind of groupism happening. And when we promote groupism, what happens? The first thing which happens is, when we are anonymous sorry, we become indistinguishable. Okay, and when we are anonymous and we have a group formed, because there are a group of people who look exactly like how we look, then our social identity is it's individualized, I would say. It's a tough word, yeah. uh, we are no more individual, is that definitely means we are no more individual. We don't relate to us as individuals, rather we relate to us as a person who is part of a certain group. Now what happens? The ideas, the core values we carry, we leave it behind, and we have one motive, and we want to achieve it. Okay, so we are together in it. Okay, and it becomes very easy to convince each other like, hey, look, we want to win, so we have to do this. um, Next point, what I feel is, uh, when the personal value is lost, and you start doing horrible things, you start getting horrible results. And even if there is a little bit of light in your soul, uh, you start become you start to become, mm, a person who is not able to take the burden of guilt, shame, anxiety, everything. You, with each and every step, the burden is increasing, and everything is, um, you're feeling heavy from within. Okay, and you don't know where to go, what to go. And I think that state, when you stick in that state for a consistent period of time, then, after that, I think you have attained nirvana, and then you are like, oh, I don't want anything, to hell with everything. I had to go through this shame, guilt, regret, everything. And if you I know what are you thinking right now. You're thinking, oh, so you want to say, for example, Mukambo or Ravan or any bad man, or you say any bad man. Do you think they are guilty of what they did? Do you think Osama bin Laden or anybody felt guilty or regret about what they did? If you ask me, because if you check them, or if they are diagnosed, I don't know whether they were ever diagnosed, but if you test them, they were not normal people. you know they were not normal people, definitely with lack of empathy. But whenever they come back to that normal situation, which happens uh, from few moments to few months, or few days, or few years, or somewhere, uh, you are caught by those feelings, and that is enough to pull you down, to weigh you down. So that definitely happened. And now let's talk about, um, okay, now let's talk about where it all started. This is what we discussed as what happened, but how it started, how that big brother, that voice, the big boss, convinced so many people to come and play a game of life and death, and everything was at stake. And why were they convinced? So I would say is, again, that big brother or the big boss knew where to hit it. You know, uh, I think he did some mind coach class or he learned hypnotism or something. He knew where to hit and it worked for him. So, if you see the pattern, all the people, so as per the episodes or the series, I think hundreds of them were there who were attracted or who were persuaded to come and play the game of life or death. So, everybody had some uh, thing or some worry or some problem with which they wanted to run away. And that problem and the bad decisions and the uh, urge to solve the problem led them to another problem, and then to another problem. And in the chase of money, and because we think if we have money, 50% or 70% or 90% of our problems will be solved. That's what we think. So I think, as you say, in the pursuit of happiness, I would say in the pursuit of money, in the pursuit of chasing to solve the problem, to mm, the wishful thinking that, oh, if I get this money by hook or crook, my problem will be solved. It will be all done. Everybody will be happy. When we enter in that phase of our life, when we think, I Problem is not within me, problem is not in my thoughts, it's just these circumstances, situations, it is just because of that person, this person, him, her, whatever. And I need money, I need help, I need so and so people to help me. If they don't help me, they're bad. Now I need money, so I do something, of course, because the intention, because I am beating around the bush, I don't know the intent, I don't know, I'm far away from the real problem. So I end up losing money, I end up losing whatever was on stake. I again, so it's like a gambling. So everybody, all these contestants were somewhere gambling, and they were losing one by one, they were losing, they were going far away from reality. Okay, they everybody were in a state of delusion. Okay, and hence they were like very very desperate, they had lost hope in their life. And then this big brother or big boss comes into picture, and now he is like, okay, let me show them what they can win. And again, there is addiction of temptation, temptation to win, temptation to become rich in one go. It's like magical, it's like blink of an eye. We think, in blink of an eye I'll become rich, in blink of an eye my luck will turn in my favor, in blink of an eye everybody will say, oh Preeti, I love you. So this is our wishful thinking. We keep doing that, and every time we fall, we do, we fall, we do, we fall. So it's kind of addiction, it's kind of a vicious cycle, I would say. Yes. So there he came, and he knew he had a strategy, he was very creative, mm, and he used it. Okay. The best thing, I would say, the positive part of this was what I learned. The positive aspect of this was he taught everybody how to be a hard worker. He taught us what a planning can do to us. He taught us, if we start believing that yes, I need to perform, if we start believing, no, I won't die, I won't give up, I won't let it go, you know, then we will put everything at stake. And that is, uh, so when I'm saying we will put everything at stake, initially also we are putting everything at stake, here also I'm talking about putting everything at stake. But initially we were talking about putting everything at stake which is materialistic, which is dependent on somebody else's performance, help, care, love, etc., etc. Here what we are trying to say is, we need to put everything at stake is how far I can go. When I say how far I can go, doesn't mean I am going in a negative direction, or I am going to explode, or I am exploiting myself. No. How far I can go simply means working hard, pushing your limits. Okay. uh, if you have to approach something creatively, how creative you can be. If you have to cook food, how delicious it can be. Okay, if you are writing something, how beautifully you can write. If you're singing, how melodious you can sing. That kind of how far you can go, how much can you push, how much can you rehearse, how much can you contribute for your growth within 24 hours, because today is what we have, there's no tomorrow. Okay, and that's what I believe, and I want everybody to believe. If you have to call somebody, call them now. If you have to say I love you, do it now. If you have to call and say somebody, hey listen, you were very bad, I couldn't tell you this, but I want you to know that you really did bad things to me. Okay, and I'm trying to forgive you, I've not been able to forgive you, but it's okay, I need time, but I wanted you to know. Do it now. Do it now calmly. And So it is very, very important. So what Squid Game taught to these contestants was to work hard, to push their limits, you know, uh, taught them to fight for their life. So there were good aspects, And at the end, one thing which all contestants, even if they died, they realized one thing, that yes, they had that light within them. They had everything which one should have to change the world. They had everything, but it was just that they were unaware of that. They didn't find time, they didn't find help um, to find themselves. Okay, we are so busy in the outer world that we don't find time to find ourselves. Okay, so I think with this realization, this series ends. That light is within you. Okay, spend time, most of your time, finding out who you are. What is that one blessing you have? How to use it to serve the nation or the people or everybody, the humanity. What can you do? It is very, very important. So I think that was the lesson, that was the moral of this Squid Game series. And another thing which I learned from Squid Game is we should always focus on three things. First is affordability, second is simplicity, and third is sustainability. If we are wanting to buy something, think of three things: affordability, simplicity, and sustainability. If I am going to buy a BMW, I'll have to manage a BMW. Okay, if I'm going to buy a villa, I'll have to manage, I'll have to sustain a villa, so it is very important to know what I can sustain, what I can afford. And it is very important to understand that in today's world of advertising, marketing, and selling a dream and buying a dream and aspiration and wanting to achieve more, dil mange more, and everything like this, why simplicity is very important. After this COVID and this recession and everything, all bad things happening one after one, um, why still haven't we learned about affordability, simplicity, sustainability? Even now, everybody, because it's December, everybody wants to go out for a vacation. I'm not sure if everybody is able to afford it. I'm not sure if everybody is able to afford a big television or anything, but we want it. We aspire to have it. We don't check how much we are spending and how much we are saving. And I think that is what is spoiling our lives. Yeah, we are running behind something. And trust me, once we get it, we will not need it anymore. That's what we humans do. We always want what we don't have. Okay, we always feel that when we are running, we are alive. Our mental wiring is such: if we are not running, we are not alive. If we are not uh, making decisions, if we are not acting on something, we are not alive. Okay, if we are not fighting for our rights, we are not alive. If we are not negotiating, we are not alive. But trust me, that's not the case. Okay, now fighting, negotiating, buying something, going out for vacation, everything is good. We should fight also. Everything is healthy. Okay, suppressed emotions are not good. But ask yourself, why do you want to do that? Why is it so important? Okay, to waste time on something or somebody. Why can't we use that time in building ourselves? We came alone, we will have to go alone. Okay, So yeah, and yes, in the end, Squid Game also taught us this, that you came alone, you got a big team, there was a world, there was a group formed, you felt as if you were home, you felt as if you are everybody is familiar, uh, you felt as if this is what it is, but in the end, you were alone. You died alone, or if you walked out of the show, you were still alone. And when you go through all these ups and downs in life, you are like, oh, what for? Why am I doing that? Okay, so that was my psychology on Squid Game and why we should push ourselves at 11th hour. Yeah, in the 11th hour also, what should keep us motivated? When so I'll just summarize it as, if I think that, oh my god, there are no viewers, I can also record this episode tomorrow, doesn't matter. That means I don't feel good about myself. I'm not um, I'm not loving myself enough. I don't feel I'm important. I don't feel my work is important. But when I start feeling my work is important, I am important, this episode is important, if I start feeling that this episode in this hour is very, very important because somebody is going to watch this the very next minute when this is uploaded, and this episode is going to change or motivate so many people in so many different ways, then this 11th hour, even when I'm tired, even when I'm sleepy, even when I don't want to re record this episode and I wanted to do something else, relax, just relax because it's Saturday evening, I just want to relax, sit, do nothing. Why is it important? It is important because it gives me a sense of fulfillment. It is important because it shows that for me, my work or what I'm passionate about is really important. And I don't take it casually. Okay, like I don't skip my lunch or I don't skip my breakfast, I don't skip my exercise. Similarly, I can't skip this. Okay, so those kind of things, those kind of thoughts, it is your brain. You can keep rewiring your brain. We have that power, we have been gifted. So I rewire myself as, this is very important, I am very important and I have to do this. Okay, so yeah, so this is what keeps me motivated in the 11th hour, even in the 11th hour. And I would definitely like to hear from you guys what keeps you motivated. So please write to Preeti, PRRITI @blinkofan eye.in, and I would love to hear what you think, what you feel, and also in case you have any definite topics like you would like me to discuss in this session, or if you would like to join me in next or next to next session, do write to me and we can do a session together. Okay, so have a good day, have a nice weekend, and enjoy wherever you are. Love you all. Thank you.